Welcome to Cut Daisies and Unicorns, and this is a Trailer Friday. So happy Friday, everybody. And if you didn't know, baseball started, well, it starts today for us, but I mean, you're looking at Friday, which is the next day. So, the Dodgers start today, Friday.
It's Dodger Friday, Dodger Friday. If you're looking for a baseball game, what is it about baseball you like?
I don't know. I think there's to me, there's a little bit, I mean, because some people find it really a boring game.
Yeah.
Because it is slowed down. But to me, I think that there's a lot of the aspects of it's more that there's thinking. There's some strategy, but also when you're watching it live, then there's also a lot of time to be able to converse with people. Like, you're not like going to a Bears game, football.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy all the time,
Yeah.
but going to a, whether it's White Sox or Cubs, game in town, you're looking at, a little bit more time of like, hey, like in between pitches and, things like, yes, you've got to pay attention to the game still. But like there's aspects of like community that are a part of, I think, baseball that may be absent in, football. People get crazier and more rowdy and I don't know. But I think that there's some more, I would say it's more intellectual.
So would you call it a gentleman's game?
Almost, yeah.
Almost, yeah. So we got baseball.
Right.
This is the Masters.
Masters is starting.
And when I saw that advertised, because I actually watched, we watched a movie for the first half of the NCAA championship game.
Oh, right.
And I told Amy, I'm like, hey, well, let's watch this rom-com. And partway through the movie, she's like, I just really love these movies. I'm like, I know, dear. Yeah, it's okay. And so
when you're awake for them.
It's so true. And she would easily admit it. But one of the and I thought, well, with the Jayhawks and North Carolina, I'm like, I said, yeah, we'll just bounce over and watch the second half of the game. And we actually, when the movie was over, it was still 2 minutes left in the first half. And so, and the Jayhawks were down by 15 at the time at halftime. And and I stayed with it and just kept watching and was glad I did. I enjoy watching March Madness. Mm-hmm. I don't enjoy the through the season stuff.
Right.
But then the advertisement came up for the Masters, and that's always a heartfelt, warming thing for me because my dad was a golfer and he'd always watch the Masters. He'd watch golf or IndyCar. No, NASCAR on Sundays. It was his white noise for napping. Now, That was during the time frame, just to let everybody know that there were 3 available channels.
Right.
And I was the remote control. Junk, 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 junk. And we actually, I think I've told this story before, but we had a TV where in some fit of rage, I don't know who did it. I don't know who done it. But the channel changer broke on the TV.
Ooh.
This was not a disposable culture. Mm-hmm. And so my dad went downstairs and got a needle nose vice grip and clipped it to the knob.
And that was the channel changer.
And that was the channel. Well, I was the channel changer.
Right, but
that was the knob. And it was just like chunk, 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 chunk. Chunk, 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 chunk. Yeah. So, but yeah, so like even today, as I'll stop by for a little bit of something to put on the grill and turn on the Masters and have that playing in the background while I do some food prep for the weekend.
And I believe Tiger's playing in the Masters, or at least trying to go for the cut.
So there was a question mark from him yesterday or the day before. He was going to do 9 holes on Wednesday and then make the determination if he felt healthy enough. Okay. Because for those of you who aren't up to date on Tiger Mania, and we're not talking about the Tiger King. We're talking about the human being,
Right.
or the lack of being human, of Tiger Woods.
Right.
Yeah, apparently in the last car accident, he almost lost a leg,
Yeah.
and so he's been on quite the recovery program, and this would be the first major that he's played in since his injury.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it's 4 coats that he has.
I think so.
I believe that's the number, and we're not going to fact check because this is Trailer Friday.
Right.
Yeah. And, when you tune in on Sunday, just to let you know, I'm wearing my Chicago garb. I don't have it on right now.
Right.
Well, I have my clothes on for people who are listening. I'm not sitting here all burly bare chested and, being the official redneck that I could be. But you can take the boy off the farm, but you can't take the farm out of the boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate from my family of origin that when I came to the table without a shirt on as a 10-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
my dad looked at me and growled, "Yeah, you're not eating dinner like that." Now,
I don't think I ever came to the table
without a shirt on?
Yeah.
Well, see, you were
Yeah.
all grown up and refined.
Apparently, it was more cultured.
That's what I'm saying.
I would not categorize.
But there is a part of in the things going on. My dad wouldn't stand for it, and he's like, "No, you're if you're gonna eat tonight, you're gonna go put a t-shirt on." Yeah. And I'm like, "Really? That's how we're doing this?"
Yeah.
So apparently, I must have had to cover up my nipples.
It was not a free the nipple society.
It was not. It was not. Growing up in the backwoods of Bad Axe, Michigan. I mean, yeah. So just to let you know, from this day forward, or from that day forward, and from these days going forward, I'll at least have a t-shirt on.
You wear a shirt to the table.
I wear a shirt all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really very shirtless either, so.
Oh, yeah. Not at all.
Right.
Not at all. There's one time in the day that I'm not wearing a shirt, and that's when I jump in the shower. Oh gosh, don't even go there with a mental picture. But I just telling you, I'm not shirted for my shower.
Right. Yeah, I don't wear a shirt to bed either. So, bed, shower. That would be the two places.
Yeah. I run cold. I don't know what the deal is. I rarely feel like. Yeah, I'm the extra blanket guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I run hot, and I think my wife uses me as a heating blanket sometimes. So. Yeah. Which is then why, I also, when she's got like 4 blankets, on the bed, I'm like sleeping with the sheet. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's hot.
We're gonna like publish bingo cards of cut daisies and unicorn TMIs, and when we get there, then you can check one off when you call out bingo. Yeah. Bingo. Speaking of bingo,
apparently use it as a drinking game.
Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah.
Final season, I think.
I think so.
I think
hit
this
Netflix.
Yeah, it's I wrote it down. I think it's May 18th is when it starts.
Oh, so it's not
March,
because I
don't. The first one hasn't played yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just saw that it was on there. Maybe it was just on there as a headline, so that it was saying that you could access it eventually, and maybe that's the reason why.
I don't think the final season. Yeah, April 18th. 13 episodes. And it finishes up 13 episodes. Yeah, it's going to be going. Premiere April 18th. And I don't know when if they're going to like release that right to Netflix, or I was seeing where it was going to be on TV.
Yeah.
You can watch the show on Netflix, but not season. I don't think you can watch season 6. It says watch now.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
Yeah, through
five
season
is on
5.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was just seeing that.
Better. You better
Mhm.
call Saul. I can really appreciate what happened with Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
and that's what I like about Yellowstone in 1883
Mm-hmm.
is them like here you have the story and then you get into the backstory,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I really really like that a lot. So speaking of bingo, because that makes me think of Saul Goodman. Yeah, yeah. Well, a couple things coming up. We actually fulfilled the promise. We're promise keepers,
We are.
not that promise keepers.
Not that
we're
group.
we're being the promise keepers. We mentioned we were going to do a game changers episode,
Right.
and just fair warning, it's a little longer than what we've been shooting for,
Right.
but we covered. It's a good, concise covering. Not too many rabbit trails per se. I think we eased into the episode with
did.
our flow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice, smooth, easy flow.
Yeah, but we also noticed that as we went through, and we covered a lot of game changing,
Yeah.
but we also were hitting aspects, a lot of innovation technology. But we said, towards the end, like there's another aspect of game changing, that we want to be able to try to tackle.
The humanities part.
Right.
The thing that makes our evolution move into a mindfulness and a care and consideration for that'll be great for grandparents, for parents, for children, to be able to get in on like, who were the game changers in your life and what catalysts were game changing catalysts.
Right.
And so you'll get a autobiographical
Sure.
view from Phil and Steve.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like to send in a story, we'd love for you to write a story of a game changer in your life.
Right.
And you can call them by name, or there could be a pseudonym. I'm using really big words today.
Right.
Yeah.
Pseudonym.
Yeah. And
Yeah. So we'd like to hear about, before we're even tackling it, because that's going to be now most likely. We're what is that?
profiting?
Yeah, well, basically, but there's the prognosticating. Prognosticating.
I need a different hat for that if I'm going to prognosticate all this that's going on. Yeah, but that's coming up probably the weekend of what a lot of people in the United States acknowledge as Easter Sunday. That'll roll out. So when your belly's full of whatever it is you eat for Easter, and for those that don't celebrate the holiday, hey, that's cool. As far as the non-celebration of said holiday,
Right.
you will have a Cut Daisies and Unicorns to listen to at 6 p.m.
Right.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, we talk about innovation, and we talk about influencers. We don't really get into influencers. We're actually looking for someone, a self-proclaimed influencer, to be able to speak into and talk about what it means to be an influencer, but innovations and how that influences our life in regards to change, the good, the bad, and the butterfly effect.
The butterfly effect. Yes.
I like seeing the butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
They get to float.
And spring is a perfect time to bring up the butterflies.
Yeah.
New life.
I think if there was another character in Cut Daisies and Unicorns, other than Edgar
Daisy.
and Daisy, it would be a butterfly.
We can add that to our, little unicorn page. So we have a unicorn, but we don't have, so
Yeah.
add a butterfly.
Yeah.
That'll add color.
That artwork. If I didn't have 12 videos to edit and all this other stuff to do, I'd probably work on our artwork. But since that's not happening.
Right.
But yeah. So, yeah, dive in. Get to be a part. be a participant. Most of the people who know us have our phone numbers. You can shoot us a text.
Sure.
If you're listening for the first time and you're like, this seems really weird. It is really weird. You know what we're due for, though?
What's that?
We're due for the conspiracy theory-esque alien traveling through the universe. What thing is going on that is unexplainable?
Sure. Yeah, we haven't addressed any of those this season yet.
Not at all. This is episode 4 coming at you live. Maybe it's 5. No, 5's going to be
Game Changers 2.
Yeah, Game Changers 2. So maybe 6, the number of man.
We'll be looking towards 6.
But
so if you're going through your own list of conspiracy theories or the unexplained, shoot us something and see if we can add it to the episode where we can discuss it.
Because we're going to go into our own research and development on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All kinds of possibilities for you to interact with cut daisies and unicorns.
And in our multiverse, where like we're so like beyond cut daisies and unicorns, we just want to tell our other selves, hang on, it's okay.
Hold on.
I'm in the middle of Picard right now, so yeah, they're in a multiverse situation.
Are they?
Yeah.
I guess everybody's bringing in multiverse, right?
You know, I think
it's the hip thing
here, and not only is it hip, this is where culture aligns with reality. How long have we been living not believing it?
Right.
So now, just wait until we can move through the multiverses.
Well, because then you're going to bring in, because they've been talking about string theory for a while, which string theory brings in a little bit, of the idea of the multiverse, but it's not necessarily testable.
I like strings.
You like to pull them?
Yeah, there's no theory to it at all. My personal preference is jute, so if, it's kind of like Baylor twine. It's not refined at all. I can appreciate, though, a good embroidery thread. The colors are vibrant. People are like, you are nuts.
Right.
I'm like, and I'm not drunk. I'm not drugged. I'm not, like, I'm in my head in a perfectly good way.
It's clear. It's not cloudy.
And I'm telling you this, as far as a playground, it's very adventuresome. I'm like, I won't invite you to play there, but for me, it works out really, really well.
Right. Inviting people into your playground. That could be a topic of its own.
Yeah. When you say not my monkeys, not my circus. Yeah, it might not be, but it's my playground.
Right.
And I'm a king of the jungle gym there.
Yes.
Speaking of jungle gyms, I'm going to be looking for a chiropractor.
Oh.
I need to work on
get some alignment in.
Alignment and mobility and dexterity. This whole body's just like tensing into this ball of like tension.
Yeah, I've noticed over, when I get back into the rhythm of working out pretty much daily, that a lot of the aches and pains start coming out too. Like when I get up in the morning, like, my feet, they're kind of hurting. It takes a little bit while to like walk on them to get, where it's comfortable.
Yeah, I got to do that Pilates class. If anybody has like a Surgeon General warning against Pilates, please let me know. Because I'm looking for the excuse on not to do it since my doctor asked me to do it about a year ago. And but I am systematically stretching when I get up in the morning now, just out of necessity,
right?
To be able to like navigate. And you know what else I've found?
What's that?
Coffee is an incredible lubricant for the muscles. I think the doctors would actually argue against that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I can start moving better after I have my first cup of coffee.
There you go.
Just like WD-40 on your joints.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
Well, I think coffee also brings clarity too with me. I mean, like it helps me to be able to start sorting things out a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had such a great night of rest last night that when I woke up, my head was working so fast I couldn't even talk to Phil. It shows up on the first part of Sunday's episode. I'm reaching for words. Like my head is telling me that I have this beautiful word that I could be able to use, but I couldn't like latch onto the word.
Mm-hmm.
And when you latch onto a word, how are you really like, can you touch a word? Or is it the touch of the tongue to be able to tantalize others with words that come out of your mouth?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
These are
brings us to
questions I
that
ask myself.
animated state.
Yes.
Steve was animated.
And not worked up.
No.
No, just animated.
Right.
I felt animated.
Right. And we even talked about if anybody was an animator out there to animate Steve and possibly even claymate Steve.
Claymate?
I don't even know if it's a verb or not.
Well, because claymation.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Motion art.
Right.
Might be easier to put me into a program, like an emoji program, and animate my emoji. I've already got that started.
Could be.
Yeah.
That could work.
Technologies.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all within the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, so we go down a Mel Gibson conspiracy theory on who's listening to you and whether, and how that all goes. And then we end up talking through innovations, and Phil and I speak personally of things that have like been game changers in our lives that are things. I mean,
That are things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing that was like personality type.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what's coming up on Sunday, everybody.
Yeah. So then along with that, you can start thinking, when we talk about innovations and things that have come up in your daily life, start thinking now about those innovations, technology wise. Like we said, we're going to get to people, we're going to get to those, the humanity side of it. But until then, start thinking about the technological or pieces that have been added, to your life that you're like, this just makes things easier.
Like for me, I think it's really cool that one of Thomas Edison's muckers, and if you're like, what's a mucker? Well, it's not the other word with an F. It's this word with an M.
Right.
And so, but at the Edison company, he had people, when they graduated college, they would come and carry out his like ideas and work towards common goals. But one of the guys actually invented the toilet for railroad cars. And so I'm thinking to myself, I mean, I'm only one generation removed from people who had outhouses.
Right.
How glad are we that we don't walk out our back door of our house to go to the bathroom?
Right.
And the other ways that they took care of going to the bathroom during the night, but then you had the receptacles that had to get cleaned out.
Right. Chamber pots.
I mean, innovation.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I really, really can appreciate that. Biodegradable toilet paper versus Sears and Roebuck's catalog.
Right.
Man, that would be a tough wipe.
It would be hazardous sometimes.
Slippery. There's people listening to this and like, Sears and Roebuck's, what's a catalog? One of my favorites was when the catalog showed up and you could look through and see all the toys that were available and stuff. And actually, my first guitar was a Sears and Roebuck guitar. I didn't buy it from that. The lady who purchased it from Sears and Roebuck or Montgomery Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
I mean, it's the way people bought things.
They did, yeah.
And then there came the season where people would go to stores and shopping malls.
Mm-hmm.
That was a thing.
Right.
Now, you just pull up your phone and you can order stuff that, depending on where you're at, either shows up within the next 3 to 4 hours or shows up in the next day or two.
Yeah. And as we talk about technology-wise, you don't even have to pull up your phone anymore. You just speak it out. Hey, I'd really like to order a fill in the blank, and there will be verification, and then they'll send it to you. Like, you don't even need your phone or your computer anymore.
Well, see, I don't live there, so I don't know about that. But I mean, I believe you if you tell me it's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah. And that's why it's dangerous too.
Yeah.
Because then you also speak it out into, I mean, like, kids are like, give me a, and then if they know the verification, it's coming.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I did not get involved in with my kids as they were growing up.
Right.
Is we didn't have smartphones at the time, and so then like in-store purchases for gaming and and stuff like that.
Right.
Never had to deal with that. But I understand that, like, instead of allowances, people are given budgets for what they can and can't purchase on the phone for their gaming devices and things like that.
Right.
And I was actually just, working down the list and know that towards the end of the episode, because of one of the innovations that Phil enjoys, we get into a little bit of food talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you enjoyed our cooking segment and you're like, I wonder what these two birds are talking about. Well, birds of a feather flock together. Birds also eat 20 times their body weight.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I can't do that.
No.
So
that would be a lot.
A lot of fruitless, senseless information that once again we're putting out to the interwebs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's enjoyable. I think it's a great, part to interact with too. So that's why I say start thinking about your innovations. And
send an email to cutdaisiesandunicorns@gmail.com or shoot us a text. Or if you're the Facebook person, in the messenger, just go to our page and message us and let us know about that. We'd love to be able to share your story in our episode 2.
Yeah, in our time together.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Well, I think that wraps it up. Happy Friday. Just remember, everybody's working for the weekend. If you're working.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.